These are Chaldeans, Arab Christians originally from Iraq. Under Trump, they were targeted by immigration police, more than 100 in Michigan ordered deported back to Iraq. Sam Hamama was one. He was arrested while his family was getting ready for church. Sam was taken to a jail. 30 years earlier, he had served time for waving a gun at another driver. Now, as a convicted felon, he could be deported.
Really, I felt ashamed, to be honest with you, that I'm getting arrested in front of my kids. That really hurt. That really degraded me.
In a court case, the ACLU tried to stave off deportation for Sam and the others, fearing, as a Christian minority, they would be victims of violence in Iraq.
They're in grave danger of being persecuted, tortured, or even killed.
I'm afraid for my life.
The ACLU sued for the release of Sam and the others.
I believe I paid my time 30 plus years ago, and I'm a man of faith. My family is also Christian, Catholic. I think this is the end of it. I think we're going to carry the cross a little bit longer.
After 8 months in prison, Sam was reunited with his family, and later his case was closed.
Well, now you can't really say it because
Sam's ordeal is over, but it's one he won't forget.
It is President Trump, but it's the laws that we have. I mean, they're inhumane.
This is like another party. I'd rather just have a party.
And remember the blessing of Allah to all of us. I was born in Al-Najaf.
Sheikh Ibrahim Kazarouni tells of being tortured as a youth in Iraq for being a minority Shiite Muslim.
The whole process took about 6 months of torture, moving from one prison to another, and finally I was released. Then other people spirited me out of Iraq by putting me into a coffin, literally lying low in a coffin that has got few holes for breathing, on the back of a mule that goes up the mountain and then down the mountain into a different land.
He fled persecution, came to the U.S., but found more persecution at a mosque in Colorado.
First, we saw it after 9/11 in Colorado. The center was attacked, the back exit was burned, pig's blood was thrown all over the place.
After Trump's election, Muslims told of more Islamophobia.
The way that they treat people and the way they deal with people is just very insulting and inhumane.
This kind of thing happened quite often in front of the mosque. Somebody comes right in front of you, zigzags in front of you, and shows you the middle finger and says, "Go back home." It's a painful experience.
We started off with strawberries, and then we picked blueberries. We did pears. We did tomatoes, green peppers, plums. I was working 16, 18-hour shifts. I mean, I remember like snakes, being when we were picking grapefruit.
Felipe Lopez Sustaita was born in Mexico in extreme poverty.
I come from a large family. 8 siblings. My mom originally had 13, but because of the conditions in poverty, 8 of us, lived and we were very, very poor. I mean, we were on the floor. I mean, that's how we grew up. And then I just remember moving from Donna, Texas to Tennessee to Georgia and then Michigan every year, just in search of work, really, and it was farm work.
Felipe went to college, got a PhD, and became an advisor to the governor of Michigan on Latino issues.
What we're dealing with right now with immigration, with community, just completely suffering. There's great people that are always really good to you, and then there's people that don't want us in this country. If you go to any restaurant and sometimes, cooks are in the back and they're Latino, you could tell how some of the people, and I'm not talking about everybody, but I've seen it, sometimes they're rude to them.
Felipe encourages others to follow his path, from migrant worker to university graduate. He sponsors an annual diploma ceremony for Latino and Latina students.
So I'm a strong believer in higher education, and it's a pathway out of poverty.